Have you ever camped by a road? I'd say I got a good 8 or so miles yesterday evening coming down Highway 3, and it was not a difficult road walk. Ended up getting some water, and I'm near water here. Fortunately, no bears came out during the night, and basically I just stopped when I got tired and wandered off here into the woods, and right over there's Highway 3. I hear the cows over there. On my way to Callahan. It's reassuring to have this river next to me. It's flowing north. I'm heading north, it's flowing north. So I'm far enough north now that the water is not going down to Los Angeles County, part of the aqueduct system. Everything here is flowing north. This is the East Fork of the Scott River, and I'll be following this basically all the way up to Seiad Valley. Still a lot of tailing piles. So they were back there earlier, and so apparently a dredge has been up here during the gold rush or something to create all those piles. See, there's a big tailing pile over there. Well, not so big, but it is a pile. So somebody's had heavy machinery in here working. When I can, I walk on off the shoulder here in the gravel. It may seem like a pain in the butt compared to the flat road, but the pavement eventually takes its toll on my feet. Just had a gentleman stop and talk to me for a while. Asked me if I was hiking the PCT. I said, I'm trying. I said I couldn't make it up there at 7,000 feet though, just too many snowfields. He asked me if I want to ride to Etna. I said, nah, that'd be cheating, but thank you. So that was nice to somebody stopped and talked, checked on me. Bunch of cows mooing their heads off, moving en masse. So somebody's feeding them. How's it going? Okay, well, I'll come by and see you later. I will. I'm leaving Fort Jones. Just did some grocery shopping there and had a burger. Did a 13-mile walk along the road this morning from Etna. Got there just after noon, which was quicker than I thought. Kind of curious to see what this valley looks like in the road. It's one thing to look at it on a map. If I can, well, I can't. It's like 17 miles to a campground, which is too far today and probably too short to make it for tomorrow night. Remember that 2-lane road with the stripes down the middle and the nice shoulder. Something happened to it. After 7 miles of not being together, the Scott River and I are joined again. So now I have my water source for a good long ways. 7:30 on June 15th. I did 21 miles on yesterday. I didn't expect that. Thought I'd got a chafing or rubbed my arm raw. Turns out I got bit by something back there when I was sitting down once. Took a Benadryl and some cream on that. Ah, there's deer. Morning. Yeah. I had birds in the bushes next to me last night. Tied up my food bag. Nobody messed with it. I have too much food. You'd think I would know better by now. It's pretty here. I was on the other side of that meadow, that field. There's a deer over there near the fence line. I didn't see any tire treads down where I was when I came in yesterday evening. This morning when I woke up, there were tire tracks on that little lane, maybe just 20 yards from my tent. I don't know if anybody drove in and drove out, wasn't paying attention. Whatever, if they did, then they didn't see me or they let me sleep. Another day on the road. I'll be sleeping along the side of the road tonight, and hopefully tomorrow I'll make it on into Seiad Valley. There's a campground there. Seen so many no trespassing signs here. I don't know what these folks do. I mean, there has to be more no trespassing signs here than anywhere, like in Brooklyn or something. I picture if somebody were to shoot a gun off, everybody come running out the front door just blasting away. They don't know what or who or where, but they're shooting. Maybe they're all marijuana growers. I've had the local folks warn me about that a couple times. Be careful where I wander. I see the river, that's good. I have about 700 milliliters of water to start the day. If it doesn't get hot, then I won't be consuming a lot of water. I wouldn't mind picking up an extra liter right now. As I've been hiking along, the river has been getting lower and lower and the road higher and higher. I was afraid of that. And it may continue that way for a ways. But over here, I found a creek coming down off the hill. So I decided I'd get another liter of water now. And I don't really trust it. So what I've done is, instead of filtering, I use this Aquamira, which I guess has similar properties to bleach. And I take 7 drops from part A and 7 drops from part B, and I put them into the little lid and let it sit for 5 minutes, and you can see it turns yellow. And then I'll just take that and I'll dump it, pour it down into that 1 liter. And then I wait 15 minutes and it'll be drinkable. Someone's built their own handmade tram cart to get across the river. I bet you that's a good fishing river. Klamath National Forest in the Klamath Mountains, far northern California. Lookout Road. It even has a roof. There's a tiny roof on that sign. Those clouds are skimming along the top of that mountain. And I think it's around 5,000 feet. I hope these blue skies last for a while. This area is all burned. It's good to meet a fellow hiker. What's up? More water, I can hear it. All right, burnout marks on this bridge. Here's a guy that peaked in high school. Here's a phone number for some weed. There's a phone booth in the middle of nowhere. Never forget the Scott River. It's one thing to find a good source of water. It's another thing to find one that's accessible. I've come across several creeks that were just way too steep to get down to them, or just not an easy way to go. Fortunately, this one is. It's just a beautiful creek too. And then here I got this place to stand. So I lucked out. There's the road right over there. It's an old moss-covered concrete structure. What's left of it. And then there's a wall. Now there are gold claims I've seen posted here, so maybe this is part of an old a larger gold operation. So much for blue sky. Anything behind me? A little bit. Well, that was a big forest fire. The owner at the lodge back there, I was chatting with him. His name was John. He was talking about this fire a couple years ago. Yeah, it took the whole side of this mountain. It's the end of the day, and I've set up camp. The highway's just right up here. That's Scott River Road. This is some shelter built in the side of the mountain there. It doesn't go in very deep. This used to be gold mining area down through here. I think this part might have been called French Bar. So that's the levelest spot I could find without being on somebody's property. And that's the best I could do for putting my bag up. At least the mice won't get it up there. Nobody's driven by since I sent my tent up, which is good because it's kind of exposed. I want to get dark. The opposite side of the road can't see me. This side, if they happen to look down right through that gap, they can see it. Hopefully their eyes are on the road and they're not looking down in here. The second California gold rush was up at Scott Bar in 1850 after the main big one. And there was the other one that everybody knows about. This is the second one. And now I walked through it tonight. I think there are more dogs than people. Maybe, I didn't count 10 houses. Just sort of a spot in the road. I did talk to a guy there, though. And I talked to a guy at the Finn and Something Lodge. He was real nice. He owns about 585 acres. He inherited. He does trout fish guide and hunting guide and that kind of stuff. And then the big lodge, which is even farther back, I talked to a young guy briefly, and he said, "Did I see you walking on Highway 3 yesterday?" And I said, "Yeah, that was me." Pretty. Got the river for sound all night. My food bag is over there somewhere. I already had dinner. I stopped. I got hungry around 5 or so and stopped and ate. So I don't have any cooking smell lingering. Pretty. Just get used to that smell of pine. And it's just a couple miles up, so after about an hour of tomorrow, the Scott will empty into the Klamath River. And then that'll head west towards the coast. And that will take me into Seiad Valley, where once again I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do. 16th of June, right around 8 o'clock. On my way to Seiad Valley. I think it's about 14 miles, I'm not sure. Last night wasn't bad at all, weather-wise. Couldn't have asked for any better. I was expecting gloom and doom based on the forecast, so I was real thankful that it was just a regular night. Not windy, not crazy cold, no precipitation. A lot of dew on the tent on the outside there. Is probably because I was camped out next to a river. That might have something to do with it. It's okay. Had the sound of the river all night long. And I'll say goodbye to the Scott River here soon. It'll empty into the Klamath. Must be a big river. This is the Roxbury Bridge from 1915. '96. Hey, 11 miles. Seiad Valley. Happy Camp is another 19. Okay, so there's where the Scott River meets the Klamath. Hangs a left turn and heads down that way. 96 is no fun. In fact, it's dangerous. It's 55 miles an hour and there's no... you can see how much shoulder there is or isn't. Less than 3 miles to go. Good fresh water out of Trailer House Spring. I saw over here where this is the flood level for New Year's flood 1997. Up that high. All that river was up above my head. That's a lot of water. The blackberries aren't ready yet. I wonder if this is what I thought was that rose bush way back there. Probably is. But they're just hard little green guys. Maybe in a few weeks, huh? I'm just a mile or two from Seiad Valley, and it's interesting PCT signage. Like out here on the road, it's like this is the trail. That's what that sign means. And here. So I don't know if this is left over from an old fire and this was a detour or what, but I don't think this is where the PCT is at. Maybe it is. State of Jefferson. If you don't know, the extreme northern part of California and southern Oregon wanted to be their own state at one point. And I think they had some traction going, but then a world war occurred. World War II, World War I. Because the folks that live way up here feel they don't have anything in common with Southern California, Central California. They have their own way of life up here. And they wanted their own state, Jefferson. And the folks in Southern Oregon, the locals, a lot of them agreed. It just never happened. Welcome to Seiad Valley. Yay! Get me a cold Mountain Dew.